Welcome to FRC Media News for Thursday, March 15th, 2018. I'm Donna Mata. Tonight, we provide you with an update on a controversial proposed alcohol and drug treatment facility to be built in Fall River's North End, the latest on food pantry offerings in the city, and reaction from BCC students who met with state representatives recently to discuss issues surrounding public higher education. But first, let's check in with digital city news editor of the Fall River Herald-News, Will Richmond, who's joining us this week from his office. How are you, Will?
Good, Donna. How you doing?
Very good. We sort of had a slow news week, unless you want to talk storm. First, we had that huge wind storm with 70 miles per hour wind gusts. And then the latest was the snowfall, which was, as you know, Will, very thick and heavy and wet. What happened in the city? I know they put the parking ban in effect at 3 o'clock on Tuesday, and what happened after that?
Yeah, certainly the forecast was for the area to be hit with lots of snow, and it certainly delivered, and reports of up to about 18 inches of snow in the city. So the city, quickly put on the parking ban. That shifted into a driving ban as well. That likely helped to keep cars off the road. I think with some of the past storms, there were a lot of problems with people still out driving. That made it difficult for the plows to clear the roads and get that job done. So the driving ban went into effect. I think it helped to get the plows out a little more freely. That didn't get canceled till about 9 o'clock Tuesday night, which the snow had pretty much tapered off a couple hours before that. So I think that helped with the cleanup part and really moved that end of it forward. Like you said, it was heavy and wet, but I think fortunately we've had a couple of sunny days since then, and it's we've had some good melting. But there was cleanup throughout yesterday in the downtown area, and I'm sure there's still a little bit of that cleanup going on around intersections and that kind of thing.
It was a pretty good idea for Mayor Correa to actually put that driving ban in effect because, like you said, I think it just gave the plows a better chance to get through the streets. And I know that city residents get frustrated with that. Oh, I don't like the parking ban. I want to drive. But again, to have a clean street, you have to have the plows go through, especially with a lot of the small one-ways that Fall River is famous for. And a coworker of mine, Michelle, says there may be another storm next week, but I'm betting that there won't be. Not that I'm a betting person. What do you think, Will?
Oh, probably one way or another we'll get something, but we'll go for rain instead of snow this time.
Yes, I hope so. Anyway, spring is just around the corner, as the old cliche goes. All right, let's move on. State Representative Carol Fiola got into a little bit of trouble with the mayor, I hear, this week, that the Fall River Herald reported. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. So, as the Durfee project continues to move forward after the vote last week, the building committee is now operating to sort of push the project into reality. Carol Fiola was one of those members, but she was recently removed by Mayor Correa for what Mayor Correa said was her bad talking of him and the city to people in Boston. So obviously he didn't appreciate that if that was happening. He says he confirmed it with people and took the action and replaced her with State Rep Alan Sylvia. So, Rep Fiola says she's kind of surprised by this move. She's not sure what she may have said to trigger this action by the mayor. And, it just sort of moves on from there, I guess. But hopefully it shouldn't have any impact on the Durfee project itself, as, the goal of the project is bigger than the individuals of the building committee at this point.
Very true. Now, did you talk to the mayor about this issue directly, or did a reporter at the Herald-News?
One of our reporters did, and as we heard from a third party about the removal, Carol Fiola, one of the reasons she seemed surprised was that she was a fairly regular attendee of the meetings. She had attended, I think up to about 3/4 of the meetings, was one of the highest attendance rates of those members. So, she was still surprised. No one is, neither of them have said what might have been said that triggered this specifically, but certainly there's no real love between the Fiolas and Jazel Correa. We're all familiar with what's going on between FROED, where Carol's husband, Ken Fiola, is the executive vice president in the city, and they're split. So, we'll hope it's not tied into that in any way, and, that really this was a decision made in what's best for the city and not any petty differences.
Which again is left up to people to determine, I suppose. Now, what is the importance of the building committee? Because it's really a relatively small unknown committee.
Well, at this point, the committee maintains oversight of the project. So, as we move now to the phase of final design, the awarding of contracts for the construction end, contractors, subcontractors, the building committee will play a role in that process and sort of provide really their main function is to provide that oversight as we move into from design to construction and completion of the Durfee project.
And if you are watching on Thursday night, the matter will go before the City Council, but at this point we don't know what the City Council will do. But I understand that the mayor is asking the full City Council to actually approve spending $263 million, I almost said billion, $1 million for that Durfee project. So only time will tell, but again, things are moving along with that project. So much so that students are still talking school safety, not just in Durfee, but in the area. It was National Walkout Day on Wednesday when the students actually left the building, right, to commemorate the people who died in the latest school shooting down in Florida?
Well, it seems in our area, most of the students stayed inside the school. The only school that was open on Wednesday was Joseph Case High School in Swansea. They held an event in the school's auditorium. All of the other schools in the greater Fall River area were closed due to the snowstorm the day before. However, we've gotten some information from Diamond today that they held an event inside their gymnasium today in recognition of National Walkout Day from yesterday. And certainly there were students from various places across the state that participated in a march in Boston that went to the State House and addressed legislators up on Beacon Hill.
Time just gets all mixed up with these snowstorms, Will. What can I tell you?
Yes.
But I have a 17-year-old son who was talking about the National Walkout Day, too. All right, what's coming up with the paper for next week?
Well, it's been about a year since the mayor left the FROED board, and the split between those two sides really kind of went into motion. So we're going to take a look at the state of economic development in Fall River, what is happening, what hasn't happened, and how some businesses feel about what has happened in the past year, and see how things are going in the year since the split.
Yes, that'll be actually very interesting to find out because, again, FROED was very much part of course, of economic development with a state peer, with bringing in Amazon. And from what I understand, if any calls do go into FROED, they send those calls to the city. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what you dig up, so to speak, on that issue. Okay, well, thank you for joining us. We will see you next week.
All right, have a good weekend, Donna.
You too, Will. Thank you. We'll have more FRC Media News right after this.
Here are some job descriptions on the latest hot jobs list from the Fall River Career Center. Digital Strategist. The Fall River Herald News, located at 207 Pecasset Street, is looking for a full-time digital strategist responsible to increase digital advertising revenues by collaboratively engaging with account executives on field calls, client visits, and overall revenue-driving activities. Job number 10312027. Certified Nursing Assistant. Genesis Healthcare and Rehab Services is in need of a full-time certified nursing assistant to care for patients at the Sarah Brayton Nursing Center. Job number 10302995. Campus Police Officer. The state of Massachusetts is looking for a temporary campus police officer to patrol the buildings and grounds at a mental health facility to detect and prevent criminal activity. Job number 10303357. The Fall River Housing Authority, located at 85 Morgan Street, is looking to fulfill the following full-time positions. Superintendent of Maintenance and Grounds, job number 10311368. Director of Facilities Management, job number 10309724. The Fall River Public School Department, located at 417 Rock Street, is also looking to fulfill the following full-time positions. STEM teacher, job number 10309672. After school teacher, job number 10312157. For more information on these or other positions, visit jobquest.detma.org or call the Fall River Career Center at 508-730-5000.
Welcome back. Stanley Street Treatment and Resources Center CEO Nancy Paul is working hard to raise about $5 million to build a new drug and alcohol treatment center in Fall River's North End. Despite some opposition to that plan, Paul says she continues her fundraising efforts to get that facility up and running.
So STAR is planning to build a 30-bed detox, 30-bed rehab, outpatient services, primary care, and we want to establish by 2020 a family medical residency program that will train physicians to screen for addiction in their primary care practices. So we're very busy on all fronts, but we're excited and we hope to save lives with this initiative.
How are you doing financially?
So we started last January and 17, and we've raised $4 million. We have $1 million more to raise, and of course the last million is the hardest, and it will probably take us another year unless we find a generous donor. My people I work with say, well, you can finish it off with one donation or two donations or 100, but we're working very hard every day.
I know there's opposition. I know that one state rep in particular and some city officials are saying no to the treatment center. Now, the argument is to send the people who need treatment outside of Fall River. I could see you smiling. What's your view on that?
I think it's stigmatizing. I think it flies in the face of what everybody is saying. And it's really sad that people who are supposedly educated about this disease, people who supposedly care about what happens to the residents of Fall River, I want to send them away. It's really disappointing.
There are numerous food pantries in Fall River where needy families can pick up free, non-perishable, and sometimes refrigerated food items. One such pantry is located at the city's anti-poverty agency, Citizens for Citizens, Inc. on Griffin Street. Here's more.
We have a food pantry on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8:30 to 12. Clients can get a bag of food once every 30 days. But we do keep stuff on our table daily, and they're allowed to come in once a week to get stuff off the table, which could be anything from canned goods, bread, pastry, fresh fruits and vegetables, whatever we have available at the time.
Do you take donations?
Yes, we welcome all types of donations. We do take freezer goods. We do take some refrigeration, but our refrigeration is limited. And of course, any non-perishable items.
How many clients do you service?
Roughly between 500 and 600 families per month. The number has declined just a little. I do think some of that is a lot of our clients lately. We do have a lot of elderly. In the wintertime, it's really hard for them to get out, especially cold storms. So it makes it difficult, and there are no food pantries that deliver.
Well, there may be no food pantries that deliver, but workers from Bristol Elder Services do, at least to qualified homebound senior citizens. Here's the story.
In the month of March, like we do actually every month, we deliver meals to homebound elders, and we deliver meals out of the greater Attleboro, Taunton, and Fall River areas. We deliver about 1,400 meals on a daily basis to individuals who are homebound.
And who puts the menu together?
We have a nutritionist that puts the menu together, and she meets with our caterer on a monthly basis, and they go over what we're going to be putting on the menu. And sometimes, we like to put different recipes on the menu and different things. So we always welcome any feedback from our consumers who receive the meals.
Do you have a specific plan of what is served?
We do. We have to meet the nutrition guidelines. So we have to meet 1/3 of that, and she makes sure that we have all the vitamin A, the vitamin K, and vitamin C on the menu that we need.
Tell us about the menu.
The menu is basically made with a nutritionist. We have a nutritionist on staff that goes to the caterer, and we decide what we're going to be putting on the menu for the month. They review it. They make sure that we have the muscle meats that we need to have on the menu. It basically has to meet the dietary needs of a male who is 55, so we have a high-calorie menu. But because of that, like, we have a lot of different options that we can put on the menu. She makes sure that we have the vitamin C that someone needs on a daily basis, the vitamin A and the vitamin K, along with the protein.
As nonprofit agencies in the city work to provide food for low-income families and senior citizens, CFC also offers other services to area residents like fuel assistance and weatherization programs, no matter what language they speak, as we hear in this FRC Media report.
It doesn't have to be Spanish and Portuguese. We also have services for people who might speak other languages. Khmer, it could be anything, so. But we have the ability to serve those clients as well. And we don't want anybody to feel, if their documentation, if they don't have the documentation to prove their citizenship, we still want them to come down. If you have a family that, the mother and father can't prove citizenship, their children are born here, they're citizens, the benefit will be prorated. And we're not going to be turning people away that are going to apply. We don't want people to be afraid to apply. And we don't want anybody to feel uncomfortable applying. You come in, everybody here is, either dedicated their working life to helping people in need or have themselves been on that side of the fence. So I think, having that kind of experience and compassion, that's what we try to have. So we want everybody to feel comfortable to come down.
We'll have more FRC Media News right after this.
Today on Hot Dogs and Cool Cats, we have Samson, who is currently burying himself in me. Samson is a very cute, very lively, playful 1-year-old. He's a lab and pit mix. If you are a very active person, or even if you have kids, that sort of thing, that would love to play with him, he would make a great dog to be active with. He's a little bit shy. It's entirely possible that in the past somebody was sadly abusing him a little bit. When he first meets strangers, he kind of cowers away. It's a little sad, but that's okay. Once you get to know him, he comes out of his shell, and he's this smush of a dog right here, as you can see, giving me kisses. So if you want to come down and meet Samson, you can come down to Forever Paws Animal Shelter. We're located at 300 Linwood Street in Fall River, Massachusetts.
Hi, welcome to Hot Dogs and Cool Cats. Today we're featuring a rat named Micah. Micah is 1 to 2 years old. He's quite a pleasant rat. He also came with a family. He has a wife and 4 children, and they would need a home too, and they would love for you to come see them as well. He doesn't scratch, he doesn't bite, he doesn't do anything but like to be held and paid attention to. If you'd like to come and see him, he would love for you to come and visit. We're at Forever Paws on 300 Linwood Street in Fall River. We're open 11 to 4 every day except for Wednesday and major holidays.
Bristol Community College students were among those to take part in National Advocacy Day at the State House in Boston recently. The purpose? For students around the Commonwealth to meet with their state representatives to discuss higher education issues, primarily increasing tuition costs and public transportation as it relates to continuous bus service to get back and forth to college campuses. Here's what some BCC students had to say after attending the event.
Hi, my name is Selena Deschaines. I'm a BCC student who runs Life Fundamentals out of New Bedford and will hopefully be branching out. And today I came to FNUM to work towards higher education, funding it. And the reason why I think that it's one of the best things that I could have done today is because I'm able to meet with my representatives personally, one-on-one, get to see who they are, and let them know the concerns that I have for my community and the other students at BCC. Being able to be a part of the discussion as well as discuss on the issues and hear back from them, I can make a difference here today and for the future generations.
My name is Luis Santos, and I learned being here made me empowered. It was an empowering experience to be here, to get to learn about Advocacy Day and about people in general.
What brings me here is that still to this day, students are massively overburdened by student debt. It's become a crisis in this country. And now that I've moved on to UMass Dartmouth and I'm starting to accumulate student debt at a much faster rate, it's definitely more important than ever that I be here, not just for myself, but for everybody around me, everybody in this state of Massachusetts. We have one of the highest tuitions in the country, and we're number 45 in the country in terms of our funding for public higher education, which is sad. Public higher education funding needs to be fully funded, and one of our asks here today is for everyone to support the Fair Share Amendment. The Fair Share Amendment is critical at this point in our country because the funding will go towards infrastructures, roads, repairs, bridges, but also to public transportation and to public higher education and public education.
That's it for this edition of FRC Media News. You can catch FRC Media News Thursday and Friday at 6 p.m., but our online news site is available 24/7 at frcmedianews.org. For all of us here at FRC Media News, I'm Donna Mata. Have a great week. We'll see you next Thursday.